So let's break this up into more components. So how about the header? This whole thing. That seems like it should be a component. Let's do it. So all our components go inside the source directory. That's where all the JavaScript goes. So making sure you're in the right directory, add a new file. And for components, we name it exactly like we name the component, capital letter and all. As gross as having capital letters in file names is, that is what we do when we make React components. That is a convention that is pretty widely followed. It helps us know at a glance which of these things are components and which ones are just some JavaScript. So header.js. What do we need to make a component? We need to import React from React. And we could import component from React as well. Why not? We need to make a class called header. That class should inherit from component. So I'll say extends component. Now, if I hadn't imported component, I would have to say react.component. But since I did import it separately, that's just fine. And I know that one thing every component must have is a render method. So I'll do that, and that render method must return a single JSX component. But before I even put that in there, before I forget, because otherwise I will, export default header. So what JSX do I want to put in there? Let's see, looks like starting here with line 8 and going down to line 23. So 8 through 23 here. Div class name expanded row header. Let's just cut all of that out and paste it in our return statement. Now that's a single div, so it should just work. We already fixed all the class name things. So right now, if I look at the browser, the header just won't be there anymore. To get it back, I'll import it. So I'll again put a blank line there. And I'll say import header from current directory /the file header. Don't need to put .js. It knows. And once I've imported it, I can use it in my JSX. So to use this component that I created, I just make a tag. And I'll make it a self-closing tag because I don't need to pass in any children. So header /angle bracket. And if my calculations are correct, our header will be back. Now coming from a separate component. Yeah?
Before I even wrote that import statement, before I even wrote like import header from /header and put the header tag in there,
yeah.
It's still showing me on my page that I had the header.
You saved app.js after you took it out? I'm not sure you're looking at the same thing in your browser that you're looking at in your code, if that's the case. We'll check it out in a second. Questions about this? So I just picked up everything that was on lines 8 through 23. So everything that seemed to be the markup for the header. You know, starting with div class equals extended header or something like that. This line here, expanded row header. Everything between that and its closing tag. And I just pasted those in the return statement inside header. So that was everything inside class name app down to here, down to main. So everything between the opening div tag and main. So these lines right here. I'm going to go ahead and save this and push it up. Extract header component.